All right. Sounds. All right, let's see. So we got 48 people on the call, plus or minus. And I've got to do a shout out to Tom McNamara, who I said, Tom, we really want to know more about this. And I'm going to take it the direction Tom and I originally agreed to, but I want you all to be aware of what we're really trying to accomplish, is that we've got an opportunity to use OpenDoor, Offerpad, and Express Offers to help facilitate a cash purchase offer for a listing or for a client that we're talking to, somebody that we may already be in a relationship with. We have the ability to create cash offers through OpenDoor. Tom is an expert at this. Offerpad, Tom's an expert at this. Open Express Offers, most all of us have access to that as well. And here's the part that's most important. Some of you are going to be familiar with a person named Mark Spain. Mark Spain Realty. It started out of Atlanta. He says a guaranteed offer on your home. Mark Spain sells thousands of homes. His call to action is a guaranteed cash offer on your property. And he's able to do that by using OpenDoor and Offerpad. He's actually using OpenDoor, but he's soliciting Offerpad now, I believe. And Tom can talk about this in a few minutes. But we also have express offers that we can use, a lot of us could use with our current brokerage, because our broker allows us to compete in that market by providing a cash offer. Tom's going to be able to jump into that too. Here's the thing. His cash offers aren't why he's listing and selling thousands of homes. The reason he's listing and selling thousands of homes is he is the first one to get an at bat. His call to action, his hook, if you would, is enough to cause him to have a conversation. Now, here's the backstory for this part of it. I used to do something called the 45-day guarantee. It means that, and I trademarked this, so haha. But the bottom line is, I'll sell your home in 45 days, or I'll step in and pay the mortgage until it does. I listed 150 homes in 2007 and like 140 homes in 2008 using that exact thing. And I used TV as the medium at which I put it out there. Here's the part that's important. I want you all to hear this. This is really, really critical. Using the I'll list your home, or I'll step in and pay the mortgage until it does. I'll sell your home in 45 days, or I'll step in and pay the mortgage until it does, gave me an at bat. It gave me the ability to have a conversation with those people. They raised their hand and said, I'm interested. I want to know more. It was compelling enough to do so. Mark Spain has done the exact same thing. His offer of a guaranteed offer on your property, I see it, he's in my market, and I'm in the Central Florida area. I see it everywhere. It's on social media, it's on billboards, it's everywhere. So it becomes very familiar. And at this point, he's taking over a very big portion of market share because he's the first one to get the at bat. Now, I want you to go through this conversation that Tom is going to kind of lead us through. I'm going to obviously give him complete autonomy because he's an expert. Tom McNamara, by the way, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge, for coming forward. This just embodies what the GPS is. And I just got to call you out, brother, because it's awesome. He's like, listen, I want to share this. I want to help. I want to make a difference with everybody. He's going to show us, we're going to talk about how to get the at bat. And I want you guys to consider, how can I take this information I'm about to gather and how can I apply this to, at first, my database? How can I write a message to them or communicate to them and have that part of my mantra? Hey, I can get you a cash offer on your property, assured. I can do that. That's what we do. We're experts at that. That's a skill set you have. And if that's enough for them to go, hey, you know what, George? Yeah, why don't you? The chances are they may or they may not take that cash offer, and that's okay. That really is okay. The most important part, though, is you get the at-bat. Now, with my 45-day guarantee that I used, I will tell you that never once, not once, did anybody take me up on the 45-day guarantee for having me pay their mortgage if it didn't sell in 45 days. Not once. Okay, that's an important thing to remember. It was simply an opportunity for me to create and start the conversation. You have the ability to provide a cash offer on almost any property. And this is the reason you can do so. And they're doing so, this is the reason you'll have that at bat. It is a very powerful listing tool. All right, I wanted to get that out of the way because it's mission critical that you understand that this is I hate to use this term because it's so incorrect. It's the hook. It's a conversation starter. You have that skill set at this point. All right, Tom McNamara, are you on the call, brother? I can't see.
I am. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey man, thank you very much first for coming on here. We talked about this, and I want everybody to get this. You and I are having this conversation. I'm like, Tom, I'd really love to share this a little more in depth. And his first response was, heck yeah, George, let's do this, whatever we can do to help our partners. So thank you, brother, for being here and for coming from contribution. I want to give you as much autonomy in this because you are the expert for sure. And I do have some questions I'd like to ask throughout the process. Do you want to kind of maybe start us off and move us in a direction?
Sure. Yeah. The first thing that I would tell you to do, if you're not already, if you're interested in running this kind of a play, is to get express offers certified, right? And I'll be perfectly transparent. I have never successfully sold a property to any of the companies within express offers, but it's what gave me the idea and helped me develop my system around what I do actually do to accomplish. So it's got some great scripts and some great question and answer kind of things that you can go through to build that value prop of why somebody would want to work with you. It also gives you some ideas on marketing methods that you can use to generate these kind of leads. So if you're not already express offer certified, go do it. It just takes a couple of days. I think I did. I'm the worst student in the world. I hate going through lengthy training things. I like going to a short little 1 hour thing or a 2 hour thing, but I'd say it took me like 3 or 4 days of an hour or two a day, and I was done. I was certified, right? From there, when I started doing the express offers, I don't know if everybody's familiar with it within EXP, but we have various partners depending on what area, what region you're in. There's different partners in different areas, and they have what's called a buy box. Okay, their buy box is what they will buy and where they will buy it and how much they would buy it for, right? So they generally don't buy multi-million-dollar houses, right? They generally don't buy something that needs to be massively overhauled. Like if you have a sinkhole home, they're going to stay away from it, right? I do know a guy. If you have a sinkhole home, I know a guy that'll buy it, but he's not in express offers. So like I said, go get structure. So you have that structure and the questions and things like that, kind of the process. Okay. The next most important thing is marketing. All right. There's a lot of different channels that cause people. So backing up a little bit, your Offerpads and your OpenDoors, they kind of try to appeal to everybody, right? They're just like, hey, we'll give a cash offer for your house. They don't really talk about, the seller being distressed. But truth be told, most sellers would be better off selling their house on the market than selling it for cash. Okay. The only time a seller with a nice home is actually better off going with an OpenDoor and Offerpad is if there's some compelling reason such that they have another house to buy. They've already bought it. They're under contract. I had one where it fell apart, right? They were under contract and it fell apart. So we stepped in and bought the house. So there's lots of different reasons, but for the most part, it's that semi-distressed house, that semi-distressed seller that's your really, really good target for an instant cash offer kind of a thing. So you can market to divorce attorneys, right? Divorce is unfortunate, but it's a great reason for somebody to sell a house. It's a very hot one. I live in Florida. We have a lot of probate, right? You get a lot of kids that inherit houses and they're living up in Michigan or Pennsylvania or whatever. And, grandma and grandpa, died here and they have a house to get rid of, right? So, those are great ones to go after, great markets. And we do a lot of marketing on Facebook and Google, right? We do like pay-per-click advertising for, get a cash offer. And to George's point about getting an at-bat and being there first, if you are good at building rapport and building trust, then you'll actually not only be first, but you'll be the only one in there. Because you can bring so many tools to the table. so often, where you can say, hey, we can buy your house cash. We have other buyers that might be interested in it, or we can list it for you, and we'll help you understand, what your best option is, right? So, with that, what one of the things that we do is kind of walk people through what their different options are, right, and help them understand the process. So, again, going back to express offers, there's a specific series of pictures that you have to take. And what I've done is I've kind of developed, and it's unfortunately it's up here, I haven't documented it, but I've developed my list of pictures between what OpenDoor needs, what Offerpad needs, and what Express Offers needs. And I take all those pictures in that video, regardless of what I intend to do with it while I'm out there. And by getting permission to take those pictures and video, it ties that customer to me to some degree, right? Depending on who they are and what kind of rapport I build, they feel like I'm in there helping them, which obviously I am. So talk about mechanics for a second, because this becomes really, really important, when you're out there doing it, because at the end of the day, we all want to get paid, right? I mean, the whole idea behind this is to, get a commission check. So, and this is part of what I go through with people is, express offers, the way express offers works is you have to get a commission agreement signed, not a listing agreement, but a commission agreement. Depending on your state, you should have some sort of commission form that says, if I sell your property to somebody else, you'll pay me a certain amount of money. So you have to be able to get them to sign that, get them to be able to understand that it's not a commitment to list, right? It's just a commitment that if I sell it to one of these buyers, that I'm going to collect a commission. So the EXP express offers, they don't do anything. So I want to collect 3%, right? So I put 3% on my document. OpenDoor actually will pay you a 1% commission. They call it a referral fee. EXP looks at it as commission. Who cares? It's just the semantics, right? But they will pay you 1%. So I actually tell the people, this is kind of part of my thing. I say, listen, some of these people don't pay me anything. In that case, you're going to pay me 3%. Some of these people pay me something. In that case, you're going to make up the difference. And then some of these companies will actually pay me in full my 3%. You won't owe me anything directly. And then what I tell them is I'm going to provide you with a document after I get these offers. I'm going to provide you a document with as many options as we have for you to sell your house. And also, here's what we could do on the market. If we put it on the market, here's what I believe we can get. There's a great net sheet that comes with express offers. When you get certified as part of the process, you'll get this really, really cool net sheet, and you can break it all down. What I've learned about some of the other differences is OpenDoor will actually pay some of the closing costs, but the seller actually pays about 1.4%. In my market, you may find different things in your market depending on how your market works. So you'll want to try to play with that a little bit. Offerpad, actually, they only pay 0.7%. The seller only pays doc stamps. Okay, they'll pay doc stamps and whatever their prorated taxes and HOA fees might be. Okay. So I actually, as part of the net sheet, I break all that down for them, and then I literally walk them through it. And it's really kind of amazing, because as you walk people through options, one of the options is never don't work with me, right? That's not one of the options. Well, you can sell it to this company, this company, this company, or I can list it. Those are their options. And when you present it to them that way, a high percentage of the time they take it, right? Now, I have run into, times where it's like, hey, my cousin's a realtor, I'm going to use him. Obviously you try to use your objection handling to overcome those, and you will get the person that's going to say, hey, I'll just, put it on the market for sale by owner. This market's so hot. No, everybody's buying everything. And again, you've got your objection handlers for those. But at the end of the day, I've gotten quite a bit of business. I intended to actually pull up my numbers and tell you exactly, but I think over the last year and a half, I've sold over 20 homes directly to OpenDoor and Offerpad, mostly Offerpad. And I've listed about 20 to 30 other homes from this marketing. And I've actually bought 4 of them. So, because I actually buy houses too, right? I do flips. So it's a really, really good strategy that gets you in there, gives you multiple ways to win. And it's really pretty easy. And by the way, Offerpad is so easy to work with. OpenDoor is a little tougher. They're very impersonal. But Offerpad, you can build a relationship inside there. Unfortunately, my girl left. I had built a fantastic relationship with this young lady who worked there. And I mean, she would call me proactively. We would discuss options for different customers and things. So I'm trying to find, she left there. So I'm trying to find another person inside there to build that relationship with. But even without that, they're really, really easy to work with. Once you put it under contract, it's a very smooth and easy process. So George, you have some questions?
I do. I want to jump in. First off, we talked about the buy box, and a box is an actual, what are they actually buying? And as you start doing this, you're going to get more and more comfortable with this. Now, remember, you have 3 different options. And while Tom is extremely skilled at what he does, for the layperson, myself, for perhaps some of you on the call where you're like, God, I don't know if I know all of that, I'm not sure. Think of it this way. Mr. Seller, I can get you a cash offer on your home. Now, some of us are out there panicking going, well, what if they don't want to write one? What if they're not going to do this? Then just say, I thought that we'd be able to do it, but it doesn't seem they are interested in purchasing anything that fits this criteria. And that's knowing what your buy box is, or even not knowing. But remember, unless you are at Tom's level, which is uber elevated, and you'll get there. The most important part, Tom, I want validation on this if you believe this. The most important part is that you're the first one at bat. You're having the initial conversation and they've already said, hey, I want to sell.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to get, I don't even care if I'm first or not. I just need an at bat. I prefer to be the only one in there, right?
100%.
But I've beat out Mark Spain and got the listing.
Yep.
And, so not that I beat him out all the time, but I know that I was up against Mark Spain several times, and I beat him out, a couple of them. So,
well, the nice thing about Mark Spain though is you're not dealing with actually Mark Spain, and they don't know that until you let them. Dealing with an agent that Mark had hired in an area that he doesn't live, unless you're in Atlanta. And the bottom line is, we're professionals. We live here. This is our area of expertise. And we always use the term we because you have partners, everybody. We're more acclimated to this area. It's all about the at bat. If you don't take the listing, that's okay. You're going to learn from what happened. And I promise you, it's moving you towards where you want to be. We listed 150 homes with a simple message of your home sold in 45 days, guaranteed, or we'll step in and pay the mortgage. Tom is listing and buying and selling and flipping properties with a simple message that we guarantee to bring you a cash offer, Tom, or something similar to that. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't say guarantee. Because I don't know that I can get them a cash offer, and I sometimes have to tell them that, and sometimes we go in and you're really just like breaking through perceived or preconceived notions,
Yep.
You'll have people. I had one just the other day that we were talking to. It's a nice townhouse down by the attractions area, and it's probably worth every bit of 350. The house is essentially perfect. It's only a few years old. And I told the guy, I said, I'm going to go get you some cash offers for sure, but you almost guarantee your best bet is going to be to list this property.
Right on.
And because why worry about that, right? Why put yourself into a situation where you're going to either waste your time or, look dishonest, right? You don't want to be dishonest. So, I tell them, hey, your house, in this case, your house may not be the best. Let me go get these offers. Let's see what they are. And then we'll talk about what the next steps are, and it turns out I was actually, not only was I right, but they didn't even make offers, which is another thing. And is actually what prompted George to want me to talk about this week was their buy boxes are changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am getting more often than I ever have, and this is very anecdotal information. I don't have data to back this up, but I am getting a lot more no bids from both of them. I'm also getting a lot more no communication from both of them. So whereas I used to get everything in 24 hours max, sometimes it's taking 48 and 72, and sometimes I'm not even getting anything.
To let
And
you know,
so, go ahead.
everybody there, and I think Tom will support this. If you've got an offer on a property, there's a property out there that you're interested in purchase, or that your seller is interested in selling, and they want a cash offer, I can almost assure you that Tom and I will make an offer at 50% of value of the property. And that is, in fact, a cash offer. There are plenty of investors who will make an offer that is not going to serve your clients at the absolute highest level. And that's okay, because our responsibility is, listen, we've got an offer on your property, and unfortunately, in my personal opinion, it's way below what you should rightfully receive. If you'll let me go to bat, put behind you the power of our marketing and our negotiating, and let me get you the maximum amount of money that your home can bear. Or if you prefer just to move away quickly, there is a cash offer on your property.
Mhm.
The at bat is what matters the most.
Absolutely.
I had to put that in there. Don't worry, because some of us out there are going to be like, "Oh my God, well, what if I don't get a cash offer? You're not lying. We're going to get them a cash offer. We can get a cash offer for anybody. There's Tom or Frank Hopkins is as an investor and one of our business partners. If he's on here, Frank, when we're done with this part, I'd love to have you jump in. Frank is an investor. We've got a friend of mine, Alec Anderson, is a great investor. Tom McNamara is a great investor. There is enough of us out there. Heck, as a commutative group, we could probably start buying them ourselves if they're going to give it to us for 50 cents on the dollar. We'll turn around and flip the damn thing and sell it ourselves. Okay, you'll get the offer. Don't let that hold you back. Some of us are so worried that, well, what if that's not true? It is true. What if it's not a good offer? It's not going to be a good offer. Your at bat is mission critical. What you do with it is a skill set you will learn, and there's enough of us here to help you. Don't let this inhibit your ability to succeed. Sorry, Tom, had to throw that
It's
in
okay.
there.
No, that's great. And there's a really good, when you're out there and you're presenting, and by the way, always, if you can, do this in person, the presentation of the offers part, right? So you're going to go out there, you're going to take pictures, you're going to build rapport, you're going to get signed papers and whatever you're going to do, right? You're going to go back and you're going to submit it through the website, which, by the way, takes, the first time you do it, takes about an hour. As you get better at it, it takes like 30 minutes or so. Most of the time you're waiting for the video and photos to come up off your phone and download onto your computer so you can upload them onto your website. Unfortunately, you can't just grab them from Google Photos or iCloud and stick them in. Okay. You can with the video, but so there's a lot of time in that, and the mechanics of going through and putting the information in their website, websites that they ask for. So you're going to spend some time doing that, and then you're going to wait a day or two, and you're either going to get or not get offers, and then you're going to build that spreadsheet, that comparison sheet to go back and show your seller. And if you can avoid it, you don't want to do it on the phone, because it's so easy to hang up on you. On a Zoom, it's so easy to dismiss you, right? In person, it's a lot harder. Not that it doesn't happen, it does all the time, but it's just a lot harder to do, right? So as long as you can get out there and present it to them in a good way, then you're there with what are the next steps, right? And when you go out there for what are the next steps, if you feel like there's even a remote chance of a listing, instead of them selling to one of the iBuyers, have your listing agreement ready. Have it done, have it printed. I know I love eSign too. I use it all the time, but have it printed, because if you, and I've had this happen to me. This is why I say it. If you say, I'm going to send you the listing agreement via email, right? You're going to eSign it later on tonight. Most of the time they do. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they change their mind. Get them to sign it right then and there. You don't have to have all the supporting paperwork. You do not have to have your lead-based paint, your HOA, and your seller's disclosure. And you don't have to have all that. You can do that electronically. Get that 4-page in Florida. Get that listing agreement done so that they feel like they're tied to you. right? I mean, oh, they are, but you don't want them going away thinking they still have choices, right? Oh, I'm going to go interview somebody else, or oh, I forgot Aunt Susie's an agent, right? So you want them to be committed to you, and that paperwork, it forms that bond. It solidifies that bond. George, there's a couple of questions Jessica asked about. If you're at the listing appointment, how do you approach the subject? So Jessica, usually I'm actually at the listing appointment because of the subject.
Correct. It's part of your marketing strategy to
Right.
put yourself in a position to be at bat. You could now remember, for all of us in our database, we have active investors who are interested in purchasing properties for cash with 7-day closings. In fact, Alex just put in there as well. And you're going to hear from him next week. I've asked him, it was going to be this week, but we're going to push it to next week. He's got some conversations here. 7-day cash closing on it. And it's anywhere from 60 to 70% of the value. Is that what your clients want? Probably not. But that's not what you're communicating in your outgoing message. Your outgoing message is you can get your home sold with a 7-day close very easily. Remember, when you're at these appointments, though, your conversation isn't about what you do. Your conversation is about what do they want. We can absolutely cause your home to sell right away if that's what you want. If money is the most important thing to you and getting the maximum amount of exposure, that's the priority we have to take. If timing is the most important, you want it sold quickly, then that's going to be our priority. If you're not getting this, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, the only thing that matters is what you want. If you come from contribution and come from service, Tom, it puts you in, and you've had massive experience. I can validate this too. But if you're coming from contribution for their best interest, they're much more receptive to having that conversation, aren't they?
Absolutely. And if you're good at ducking and weaving with your sellers, it really helps a lot. Like you can kind of start to feel which way they're going to go, and you don't want to push them. You don't want to force their decision, but you want to encourage them to go to the way they want to go. So help them make up their mind, right? So, as you're out there, and I mean, I've had people, we've had people, when I say we, a lot of times what I'm talking about is me and Frank, because we do work together quite often. And so we'll be out there talking to a seller and we feel like they're leaning towards, they want the convenience. It's not that they don't care about the most money, but it's not the most critical thing for them. Right. So we're going to continue to talk about both options, like, well, yeah, here and here, and we can list it. And the reason we go back to the we can list it is because you always get I want to sell it quick, but I want top dollar, right? Everybody wants both. I want to sell it in a day and I want maximum, like I want them to pay me retail plus, and I want to close in a week, and that's most likely not going to happen. So you kind of have to walk them through, what do you want most, which is more important? And we've said to people, like if we think they're going to go listing way, we'll literally, one of the things that Frank kind of coined, and I love it, is, listen, somebody's going to make $30,000 here. It could be them or it could be you. Which do you want it to be?
Oh, whoa. Say that again.
Somebody's going to make $30,000 here. It can be them or it can be you. Which do you want it to be? Right. Because that's usually the difference. It's somewhere around $20,000 to $30,000 in net money, right, that somebody's walking away from by taking an iBuyer deal. Not always. I've literally had it where I'm looking at it going market wise, like it's a $5,000 or $10,000 difference. You know what? Take the offer. It's like you're way better off. It's you need it close in a month, whatever. Just go, right. And then there's other times where it's a $50,000 difference, and I'm like, if you really want to do this, I'll do it, but I don't think you should. But usually it's in that $20,000 to $30,000 range.
Again, Tom, you went back to what is their priority. And Alec, thank you, Alec. Appreciate that. What are their wants, not their needs, because their wants are usually going to trump. And you keep going back to what they're talking about. I love it that you're focused on this. I got to throw something in here. And this is, I try our best not to, because the GPS group is agents helping agents. It's not really broker specific, although a lot of us are with, I'm just going to say it, are with EXP. Here's something that's unusual that EXP offers. We're able, with express offers, to compete directly with OpenDoor and Offerpad. Every one of you that is with our brokerage has that ability to do so. And here's something else, making it rain. EXP offers all of us the opportunity to generate leads at a very, very reasonable cost, including listing leads, through making it rain, because it is express offer specific lead generating through pay-per-click, and the algorithms are brilliant. That's in your wheelhouse. If you're saying, I want to invest money, this is probably where I would do it. Listings are critical, and knowing what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, they've already roadmapped it out for you. So I wanted you guys to be aware of that. If you look into making it rain, you're going to get two options, buyer side or seller side. The seller side is express offers. It's exactly what we're speaking of. Take a look at that, because it's part of what you already own as the owners of the brokerage, because all of you own the brokerage too. Just throwing that out there. Sorry, Tom, I had to throw that in.
So two really really important things that I want you to think about as you're going through this. If you're out there, trying to get these done. Specifically when you're going through the comparison sheets, right? OpenDoor and Offerpad work very differently than each other, even though they do the exact same thing. Okay. OpenDoor will give you an initial offer almost immediately when you put it. It's kind of like Zillow, right? As soon as you pop in, here's my address, here's a couple bits of information, bam, you get an offer, and it'll be 254, and you'd be like, oh my gosh. And then the next thing that they do is they send you out an invite to say, hey, what day is the best for us to go out and look at the property? They only do an exterior inspection. Okay. They use your video and photos that you provide as the interior. So you have to do a really good job of giving them that information, but they only do a physical exterior inspection. Okay. When they're done with that, you'll get a real offer. So never communicate that high number that you first get to your seller. It will drop.
Really, Tom? Are you sure? I mean, my God, I didn't experience that like just yesterday.
100% of the time. Now, sometimes it drops by a couple $1,000 and it's not a big deal, but it will always, always, always drop. Okay.
So everybody gets mud on their or egg on their face. Let's make sure we're Alex put his phone number there. If you need to make an offer, that's his phone number. People do that. So as well, honestly, Tom and Frank will as well. You've got that. But here's what happened. We had OpenDoor come out and take a look at a property. Clients like, listen, I really do need to get this to sell. They offered $546,000 after walking the property. It went to $463,000. Okay, so, and what we didn't do is we didn't do great photos. Oh my God, did you lose the listing? Of course not. The property was already listed. This was a secondary option. They were looking into it. I want you guys to be very, very aware that you're not foolish. You're not making mistakes. Some of us out there are so concerned about knowing everything and having it all perfect. You're going to screw it up a little bit, but it's not going to be damaging to your clients, because the only thing that matters is what's best for your clients. You won't make big mistakes. I promise you. Get off your butts and take a chance. Talk to other people, your clients, the database, people that love you, that trust you already, and tell them, I can help you get a cash offer on your property really quickly. You'll get the at bat and then serve them. That will win. Fair?
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's how Offerpad works, or excuse me, that's how OpenDoor works. Once they do that, they will go under contract at that price, and it will almost never change. I won't say it can't, because I have seen them come back and cancel a contract. I don't know if they found a title defect or what, but I've seen them do it. Offerpad. Oh, by the way, be careful of the timeline too, because they have the right up till the day of closing to ask for additional discounts for inspection. So be really careful of that.
Now, real quickly, remember, folks, most people, especially the people in your database, want the most amount of money. They're going to want you to sell it. You're simply trying to get them to raise their hand saying, hey, I'm interested in selling. I'd love to see what a cash offer looks like. That's what we need to know as real estate agents. Now, serve them. Serve them with your expertise of knowing what the market will actually bear, knowing how you negotiate, because your strength is negotiating and marketing, by the way. That's really what you do very well. Okay, that's your strength. This is an at bat. Don't think of it. Every one of you, quickly run into this camera as fast as you can right now. Bam, get that right there in your forehead. It is not about you bringing a cash offer. It's about you providing service. The cash offer is a hook in which to get them to talk to you. That's it. You are a marketing person. You must be to be successful. Focus on what I'm saying right now. Your number one job is client acquisition, as is a dentist, as is a lawyer, as is a doctor, as is everybody else that has as is a furniture salesperson. That's your number one job. This is a tool to help you do that. And then serve, serve, serve. If they want a cash offer, get it for them. If they want the highest amount, which most of them do, serve them. Don't be afraid that, oh, I don't know if I can get a cash offer. Yes, you can. You get people jumping on and saying, I'll help you right now. Don't be afraid. Can I serve them? Yes, you can, because you're not you, you're we. We're all together. If you got a question, call Tom, call me. Please don't call Tom and say, how do I get qualified for express offers? Figure it out, okay? You got this. You're not crazy, but use us if you need to help with it. There's so much skill and so much knowledge here. Your job is to find the clients and help them. Don't let this intimidate you. Some of you are going, oh, it's not going to work. I can't bring it off. We're not going to do this. Shut up. Run into the camera. Serve them. But they've got to raise their hand first, or you don't have anybody to serve. And that's what this is.
George, Frank's got something he wants to pop in.
Shoot, Frank.
Hey, good morning. I'm getting ready to go to finalize a listing appointment here.
Well, Frank,
this appointment.
One sec, bro. I gotta give you guys some background on this one. So Frank is an expert at helping people sell their home with either with cash offers, and I've actually followed him for a couple of years now. He's turned into a great friend. By the way, great job on capping. Way to go. You're the man.
Thank you, George.
That's very cool. But this guy is like super highly qualified at this and does this every day, day in, day out. What he's about to tell you, I don't know what it is. I guarantee you it's the truth, and it's spot on. Frank, I had to give you the props because you needed it. You deserved it.
Thank you, George. I appreciate it. And just to reinforce what Tom's been saying, I'm going to we already have the listing agreement, and this seller reached out. Hey, I want to sell my house for cash. Well, people don't really understand what sell your house for cash means. They think it means full retail, no real estate agent. And so when we went, we always do exploratory. We always ask lots of questions, and we teach that on GPS to ask penetrating questions. If you really want to serve people, you have to ask questions that may seem uncomfortable. And we're always like, tell me what you need, tell me what you want, tell me what are you trying to achieve here, what's most important to you. And they said, as we talked to them, man, we need the most cash possible. We're getting ready to get a divorce, and Tom mentioned that earlier. And so because of my background as a pastor, I always ask them, and I ask these folks, hey, I'd love for you not to sell your house and stay married. Is there any way that I can refer you to counseling? Can I help you, figure that out, whatever? No, thank you. We've already gone that route. Okay. So then the next thing is, what do you really need out of this? And they said, we need the most cash possible because we're gonna split once we sell the house. So then it's a no-brainer as to this is a listing. And the guy even said to me, you mean I shouldn't go to OpenDoor Offerpad? And I said, they're gonna discount your home. And here's the reasons they're gonna do that. I know because I've submitted probably 25 or 30 offers, and some they accept, some they don't. And here's the differences. If you want the most money, we need to sell it on the market, which is always your best option. Occasionally it's not, most of the time it is. And it was like a layup. And the reason it was a layup is because they know my first reaction to them was, don't sell your house, get counseling and stay married. Okay, well, so what does that say to them? That says I don't need to do this deal. I need you to do what's best for you. And I really feel that. I'm fully prepared to walk away and clap and hoop and ha if a couple decides to stay married. But anyway, so that's not what's going to happen. And so we're getting ready to. I got the appraiser that's coming today. We're paying for it because of your coaching last week, George. And so my point in this is that you're right. Don't be afraid. Go in with sincerity. You're helping them. You ask the questions. You don't worry about what's best for you. You worry about what's best for them. And this is I'm telling you, you can build a really good business. My whole business model is this: walk in, find out what they need, and I'll go any way you want to go. You want to sell me the house? I'll buy it. But I will tell you, I'm usually not the best cash option, but I can get it done quick. And when you have those open discussions like that, it's a game changer, George. Just being honest, just being, as my mentor used to say, a truth seeker and a truth teller. And you're there from contribution, and it works. It's not a manipulation. It's not a game. You are there to help them, and this gives you more options. So
Frank, thank you very much. You brought up, Alec, I'm going to jump you in just a second. I wanted to say something with what you brought up, Frank, which I thought was really important. Your mission is, of course, to serve them at the highest level. And you said, you know, my cash offer is probably not the best one. There's a tag to the end of that. And say, now remember, though, when we close, they're all cash offers. So if money's most important to you, let's get every penny and put it back in your pocket if that's their priority. And as Alec, make sure you know what they want, not what they need, because wants will always win. Frank, thank you so much. And you embody exactly what the GPS group is about. It's agents helping agents. So with that, brother, if you got anything else, if not, I'm going to throw it over to Alec because he's got something to add too.
I'm going in to meet the appraiser. Thank you, George. Have a great day.
Thank you for the prop on.
Hey, Frankie.
Alec Anderson, you got something to say, bro? You here?
Hello.
Hey, man.
Hey, bud. How are you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for jumping in. What do you got, buddy?
No, the one thing, the gentleman actually just said it before is being honest. I work a lot of commercial, so honesty kind of gets thrown out, but regardless, being able to sit down with a client, regardless if they're buying or selling, the number one rule for me is education. The better you educate your client, the more they're aware. The easier it is to set expectations, whether they're low, whether they're high. When you're walking into an appointment, give me 30 minutes, and this should go for everybody. And what I will walk you through, you should know more than 90% of the agents here in Central Florida. And people don't understand how far it goes and how much easier it makes your job by giving them as much knowledge as you possibly can. Give them 80%. Keep the 20% secret sauce, put it in your pocket. But educating those clients up to 80% of what knowledge you have in your back pocket is huge. Finding out their goals is always number one for me. I want to know what you want to do in 6 months. I want to know what you want to do in a year. I want to know what you want to do in 3 years. 9 times out of 10, the most amount of money in their pocket is what the client wants. Yeah. What a lot of people don't understand is liquidating their single family asset today, even at a deficit of what they think is perfect. Let's say they won $500,000 and you're only able to get them 465 right now. If you're able to explain to them, hey, even though you're walking out with 465, let's downsize you into something that's going to conserve money monthly, utilize the rest of that cash towards an income producing property. Once you start to break down the math of their take home, then reinvesting into an income producing property on a standard conventional mortgage, you start looking at the cash flow difference. And we're going to go from, oh, hey, you know what? We made $35,000 less on this property. That's okay. We put you into a new property where you're saving $800 a month on the monthly. And we put you into an additional asset where you're making $2,200 net operating income plus the equity and the appreciation value based on that multi-unit or income producing property. You start weighing out the numbers 2 years down the road, that $35,000 hit they took on the single family that they wanted is now actually plus $200,000 because of the money they were able to save on the current mortgage, put it towards the principal and the net operating income on the investment property they just utilized to purchase. So even though it's not perfect, you still have many ways for clients to, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to save money. You still have the opportunity, regardless of the rates, regardless of what's going on in the market, to build an asset and income-based cash flow stream.
I gotta, Alec, let me throw something in here because, so I've known Alec for like 8 years. We actually fell in love. We were doing a transaction together, and this is, I'm going to throw the props out there. He calls up, he goes, there's a problem with one of the trusses in the house, and it's going to be a big issue because we won't be able to insure it or something to that degree. I said, oh, okay, we're going to address it. He goes, no, I already got up there, and I know how to do it structurally, so I took care of it, and it's gone. I'm like, who is this guy? It just, just really came from how do I serve my clients at a very high level. He's talking about some things that we're going to dive into a little bit deeper as I'm going to have Alec on the calls. He is incredibly knowledgeable in how to, as you probably just heard, how do we say, listen, we've got this asset that we can, we can give it away or we can take as much money as possible. And if we reinvest that, we can turn that into more. He's taking one transaction and turning it into 2, not because of the commission, but because taking that one transaction and pivoting the assets of it into an increased value for his clients is his most important focus. It's his clients. So I'm going to have him on, Alec, if you're comfortable doing so, really kind of diving a little deeper into it. Now, folks, these are conversations where you bring the pen and you write stuff down, because he says shit that I don't, excuse me, stuff that I don't get sometimes, and I've got to go back on it. But there's
I'd love to be on another call. So
there's so much good stuff to help our clients, which is really what we do the best. And if you didn't get anything out of it, get this. It's about serving our clients, but you've got to have that at bat. Alec, would you agree that when you take one transaction and turn it into two, the only reason that works well is because it serves your clients' number one priorities? Is that the reason you do it?
yes. And at this point in my career, if I say buy, they buy. If I say sell, they sell. If I say don't do anything, they don't do anything.
You've earned that.
Everybody out there, I make rich people richer in a simplistic way. That's my job. I make rich people richer. But the referrals and the compliments, nobody can sell your business better than a previous client or a current client. You can go out there, you can push your shit as much as you can push your stuff as much as you want to try to amplify how great you are at your job. Any prior client will sell it tenfold by saying half of what you're able to instruct somebody on. So as long as your other clients, your previous clients, you went in there with the mentality, screw my commission, how can I make sure that they put the most money in their pocket? Your business will explode and compound week over week, day after day, year after year. You got to take the number one stressor of the majority of individuals in America. And what is that? Not enough money. There's not enough damn money. I'm not making enough damn money. If you have a plan that shows and you can implement something in a system that ensures your clients are making more money week over week, month over month, you just solved a huge issue for the majority of people there are, and your business will continue to roll and roll and roll year over year.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Listen, I do want to, I'm going to reserve the right to call you back on, because we've got a lot more you and I need to cover for everybody. Because ultimately, guys, it's agents helping agents. This has nothing to do with brokerages. Screw the brokers. The brokers have an agenda. Your agenda has to be you. And quite honestly, if your agenda is pure, it has to be our clients. That's all we're focusing on. Alec, thank you very much. I'm going to call you back. I want to open this up.
George, I got two things I want to. I've been wanting to make sure these are really, really important details if you're going to go down this route. So George mentioned that his listing, he got an OpenDoor offer on. Okay. OpenDoor will in fact make an offer on any listing that you have. Well, they'll consider making an offer on any listing that you have. Okay. They will buy it even if it's on the MLS. Offerpad will not. They will not buy off the MLS. It has to be delisted for at least 30 days before they will make an offer. So if you're out there with your customer and you're going through the options, and OpenDoor and Offerpad are really close, and then the marketing is better, and they say, well, let's market it first, and then we can always come back and take this cash offer. The answer is yes, you can. You can take this cash offer. This one is off the table. So you got to let them know that, because the Offerpad might be the better offer, right? So that's the first thing. Yeah, Bill.
Go ahead.
You're muted.
Does you know how sometimes there's a FSBO that will show up on FSBO.com, or a FSBO that will be out there? Do they count that as a listing?
No, they don't care about that.
Okay.
You can do any kind of for sale by owner. They can be doing any kind of it's only if it's in the MLS.
That's the number one thing. Even if it's
Offerpad will not do that. The other thing is, I mentioned how OpenDoor will go out and do their external listing, and then they will give you a final offer, right? Offerpad works very differently. They go off of your pictures and whatever description that you gave. I always make it a point, if there's anything wrong with the property, to highly point it out. If it needs a new roof, I am telling them unequivocally it needs a new roof. If the AC is busted or it's 32 years old, I'm going to tell them that. And the reason I'm going to tell them that is because they won't know by looking at any kind of algorithm or automated valuation. They will when they come in and inspect. Offerpad does a full inspection. They go under contract just like any other buyer. They have a period of time that they can come in and inspect. As a matter of fact, the way they have an addendum that changes the inspection rules to be, I forget how many days it is. I think it's 10 days after they actually inspect. So whereas the typical contract is you have 7 days to inspect and ask for credits or whatever, their contract says they have 10 days after they inspect to decide what they want to do. So you want to get them in there as quickly as you can if you go under contract with them, and you want them to not ever change their offer. And the way you do that is by telling them all the things that are wrong, because I guarantee you they're going to find them. Right. So you want to say, hey, this is bad. This is a problem. I think take a picture of it. You know, you got cracked tiles in the kitchen. Take a picture of the cracked tiles. Hey, half the tiles in the kitchen are cracked. They now know that they're going to have to replace that flooring. Right. I can tell you from direct experience that one of the worst things to happen is to be under contract with them and have it fall apart because of inspection, because that seller is like, no, it's as is. No, they're cash. No, they know that. And you're right, but they do have the right to come back and ask for credit. So do the best job that you can of getting them all the information, and know that you cannot go back and just accept the Offerpad offer later. Okay. That's probably the most of the mechanical stuff that you need to know.
Tom, you've said you have a video photo list that you've compiled. Is there, if I had Joe reach out to you, or have you shoot an email to Joe at Sosa Philbeck, would you mind sharing that with us? We could post that in the GPS Global Partners.
I think I wrote it up for Frank once. I'll have to go find that. I literally just have the checklist in my head. Okay. I think I did write it down for Frank once. It's mostly out of the express offers. I started with express offers, and then as I did my first couple deals with Offerpad and or OpenDoor, I realized there were gaps of things that they wanted that I didn't have. So then I just kind of added those. So now it's my checklist is everything across all three.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate that. And the obviously what I just heard and what everybody should hear is get started with express offers. If you're part of the EXP family and you've got the ability to have this in your wheelhouse, let's please explore this. And I promise you, sellers are across the country realizing that, holy crap, the market's changing. And it's going to continue to change, particularly when we get into August and September, what is nationally and historically the slower times, plus the fact that recession is the word that everybody's talking about. Your skill set is about to become massively valuable. This is part of what your arsenal is. Also, this is a shameless plug because I believe that it's agents helping agents. This is a class on how can you pick, or a mastermind on how can you generate more listings, really provide a higher level of service, which is the underlying thread. Why haven't you invited a friend into this class? Why wouldn't somebody else want to be here? Why wouldn't we want to share this? Because there's enough out there for all of us. I promise you. Mm-hmm. Tom, thank you so much. Frank, if you're still on, thank you. Alec, thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm going to open it up and we'll turn it into questions and Q&A. Bill, do me a favor, Bill Bliss, when we're done, because I'm going to hop off. I'm actually on vacation with my family, but this was so important. Bill, give me a shout when you get off the phone. I do need to speak to you personally. When you're done with the call, if you wouldn't mind, just give me a shout real quick. And let's open it up to Q&A on this one. And Tiffany, good to see you, my friend. I'll catch up with you. I'm driving back tomorrow, so I'll get on the phone with you then too. Okay.
That works. Thanks.
McNamara, thanks, brother. You were awesome. Really appreciate your guidance and your support and your contribution. You were phenomenal. Thanks. Alec is same thing. Frank, same thing. Thank you, guys. Questions are all yours. There's no way we explained it that well.
I must have done a great job.
Oh, we got a question from Eric.
Yeah, Tom, what does your marketing exactly say?
That's the secret sauce, right? So if you go through express offers, they actually give you some really good marketing stuff. And Frank does the majority of our marketing, but it's really and I work with some others that do it as well. But it's really just like instant cash offer, get a cash offer quick. Sell your home in less than a week, those kinds of messages. And what you'll find is that depending on how you do it, if you do Google pay-per-click, obviously, you'll want to back that up with, having like on your website where you capture them, you'll want to have the Facebook pixel. Because what'll happen is when they come to your site and put their information in off of the Google form, you'll actually embed a piece of data into their Facebook profile. Almost everybody has one, right? And then the next time they pop into Facebook, they'll start getting your ads, right? And so, and if you'll notice, if you do it, if you go search real quick on the internet, if everybody does it, go search for how to sell my home fast. You'll get tons of ads, and then go on to Facebook, and then you'll get tons more ads because you just went and searched for that, and you're going to see them, and you're going to see them for days and days and days, right? So, and you want people to see you for those same number of days. So, but the message is quick cash offer. Everybody wants quick. Everybody wants cash. Everybody wants the most money.
Tom, I got to throw this out there because it's mission critical for what you just hit on. If you go to, excuse me, making it rain, you have two options. One of them is an express offers, and what Tom just said that I can't do, they do for you.
Correct.
That's the trick. Now, Alec, I think Alex just raised his hand. He had a question for Tom. If you got one, shoot it out there as well, folks, please. This is all about you.
Hi, my question for Tom is OpenDoor is a heavy hitter in this market, but the only thing I'm worried about is their last quarter. They showed, I think, around 5.2 billion in revenue with their first positive net income quarter of, I think, 27 or 28 million. So over 5 billion in revenue for only 28 million in positive income. That was during the best real estate quarter we've ever had. What are the chances that OpenDoor would even still be around 6 months from now, or walking into the third quarter at the end of this year, unless they went to some type of a rental cash flow program to keep the current properties maintained and bring money in it? The only reason I'm asking is they are a great tool to utilize. I'm just worried about the sustainability for that company.
Alex, I'm going to jump in on that one because it's a great question. SoftBank, I believe, is who's backing them, and SoftBank is interested in cash flow. So I don't know if they're going to go into the rental industries, although they may. But what we're going to see is a declining, or at least a changing market that's not as aggressive. My mission would be, and I hope that we all agree to this, let's put OpenDoor and Offerpad out of business by helping them buy homes for much more than they should actually pay and helping our clients. I don't want them in business, but that doesn't change the dynamic that a cash offer can be secured. Alec, you're one I could call and say, hey, I've got a great property. It's 70 cents on the dollar. Would you buy it? If you have an investor to buy it, your answer is, of course, yes. So
I sold 4 properties to OpenDoor over a 1.5 year period. This is a couple of years back. They took a loss on every property that I sold them. And then
I sold one of mine. And I was really proud to make them lose. It was great.
Then they asked me to come sit down for an interview and meet with them. I'm like, no. If I got a 10th grade education. If I sold you properties and you took a loss, that's not the right company for me. You know what I mean? I want to be the dumbest person wherever I work. I want to be the dumbest person there is, so I can continue to learn. But
It'll be challenging, buddy.
Their sustainability, that was all.
So I think, Alex, if you look at their sustainability, I used to work in Fortune 500, right? And so those companies, the decisions, the way those decisions are made are very, very different than the way you and I make decisions. I'm sure that you make some decisions differently than the first time investor, right? Or the guy that's on his third property. You're very different then. But they look at things in an aggregate. They'll look at, like, we bought X number of homes, we sold X number of homes. They lose money. I've done the analysis. They lose money on about 25% of their properties. They make a lot of money on about 25% of their properties, and about 50% they break even. And to
so
your
when
point,
you go to aggregate, are they looking for down road appreciation value?
are
they trying to offset the assets versus liabilities today to help with taxable income until the time comes to really explode? Or
so my understanding of the way, and I've got a friend that's actually really close with both of those companies from an advisory level, and they're both just trying to perfect their model. Their problem is, and you nailed it, their problem is it almost relies on an ever increasing market.
Yeah.
And we are about to hit at best flat market and a potentially decreasing market, depending on what market you're in, right? But overall, nationally, we're probably in a little bit of trouble, right? And so they don't want to get caught holding the bag, but they're going to.
well, nationally, we're kind of shit out of luck, or sorry, SOL.
Yeah.
But like Central Florida and parts of Texas, those are two hard markets to have an accelerated decline over 8 to 12%. I don't really see either one of them going down. But now that I think about it, now you just brought those up for the markets. You look at the majority of their markets, it's Central Florida and Texas.
Right.
The two they specialize in are actually Central Florida, Texas, so they might be all right.
Yeah, so it's really hard to say. And to George's point, I don't care if they survive or not. That's not my problem. And I've I've had people ask me, like sellers ask me, like, well, are they going to be in business? Who cares? You're going to sell them your house and you're done with them. That whether they stay in business or not isn't real, unless it's, of course, the day before you close, then you really care about that, right? But and then you bring it back to, hey, that can happen to any seller. You could sell it to Joe Smith, and Joe could punch his boss the day before closing and lose his job. Probably not going to close, right? Yeah. So stuff happens, right? Let's not worry about that. Let's get you let's get you through this, right? So
well, Tom, I've had a conversation with a seller on this one where they're like, well, what if they start stuttering with this one and say, listen, our mission is to put OpenDoor out of business by having them overpay for your property. That's a singular thing we're focusing on at this point. We don't want them to make money. We want you to make money. Mm-hmm. Because the truth is, the sellers don't give a darn about the buyer of their property as long as it closes and it's acceptable. But then that goes back to what Alec was saying earlier. What do they want? What do your clients want? And most important, that all of you, through the rest of you that are still on the call, that are listening to this, remember, I'm going to finish with this and then I'm going to excuse myself. Remember, your job is to get an at bat. Your ability to provide a cash offer, which you all can do. Every one of you can provide a cash offer. Your job is to get the at bat, to have that conversation. Say, let me come take a look at the house. Let's present this. Let's see if we can get you a cash offer. When you get there, ask them, so what's important to you? What do you want to transpire? And then listen to what they're saying. And as Alec had said, dive a little deeper, find out more. Well, I want the most amount of money. Great. How come? Frank said this brilliantly. Well, because we're getting a divorce. Maybe we get counseling and you keep the house. That would be the best thing for you. No, we're already divorced. We're going to do it. Okay, great. Then the most amount of money is the priority. I can sell it for you on the open market and get you more money than these cheap bastards are going to pay for it at OpenDoor and Offerpad, but it's completely up to you. It's about the at-bat. And every one of you has people that already know you, love you, trust you, and count on you. Your database. Bill Bliss, I'm speaking to you specifically. Your database. Reach out to them. Let them know that you can provide a cash offer on any property they have. And the truth is, you can. Is it the highest offer in the world? Absolutely not. It's a cash offer. But you can do that and then have a conversation on how you serve them, because ultimately, my number one priority is to serve the people around me, you. And you have to be skilled at generating business for yourself. This is about the same thing a doctor goes through, a lawyer goes through, a grocery store goes through. Everybody is in the job you are. And if you're not, quit real estate right now. You are in the job of acquiring clients. You're in the job of serving the clients you've already acquired, your database. If you don't accept that that is your number one responsibility, leave the industry. But I'm going to tell you a little secret. It's every industry that happens, unless you're an employee. And I don't want that job because I suck as an employee. Chances are, so do you. I know you do, Mac. You're not an employee. You're a leader.
I broke out of that about 5 years ago, and I can't see myself going back, man. There's no way.
And the fact that you guys are on the call, that you're still here in this mastermind, proves to me that you're not an employee either. You're a leader. You may not see yourself as one yet, but we do. That's why you're here. You're saying, I'm honing my skills. So let's get out there and offer value to our clients. And quite honestly, let's engage them in a conversation about what their priorities are. You have no idea. And I promise you, if you're not talking to them, OpenDoor and Offerpad is. And the house next to you that's a friend of yours is going to be listed by a company you could have already won with.
So George, while you were talking, I pulled up my numbers because I was really interested. I did, in my last cap year, I did 66 transactions, including referrals, right? And 20 of them came from this one strategy. So a third of my business was directly associated with this strategy.
Wow.
So-
I love that. There's a question Evelyn put up there. Evelyn, thank you for the question. I just looking at the chats now. I'm sorry if I missed something. Do they buy condos?
I believe one of them does, and I can't remember which one. I've never successfully sold a condo to either one of them, so I can't tell you specifically. They do definitely buy townhouses, because those I have done.
Okay, well, and now the bottom line is, though, if there's a condo for sale, and let's say the condo is worth, we'll just throw out a number, say $300,000 on the open market. I am willing to, is there anybody here from the people I can see? If I gave you a fractional ownership, could anybody throw in, if we could buy that condo, it's worth 300, but we could buy it for 150,000. Would anybody here participate $10,000 with about 60-day return with an extra 5,000 or a 50% return? Anybody else besides me interested in doing? So we actually, as a team, we can buy that condo. Y'all getting what I'm just doing? We just bought it together. Thank you very much, Chris and Daryl. I knew you'd be in on that too. As a team, we can do this. And this is where Alec may actually help, because he's uber brilliant and he's off the call, so I could throw him under the bus. But how cool would it be if we said together, let's purchase that? I don't know the legalities of it, but there's got to be a way to do it. We're getting close to fractional. There is. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yogi and I will buy it too. But way to go, Budrum. I appreciate that. Him and you. Yeah, absolutely. Yogi is another one of our partners, unbelievably skilled. You're surrounded by people. And Liz, I missed what you put up there, but I'm sure you'd be involved in that as well. You're not alone. Let that sink in. You're not alone. Evelyn, how cool would that be, right? Can you imagine if we just said, all right, let's all of us, everybody take a $10,000 share, we'll put it in there, we're going to buy whatever properties come out, we're going to buy them, cash offer, 50 cents on the dollar. Chances are we're not going to buy many. But if we buy it, we'll get our money out of it quickly. All right. Do we have a list of all cash? I missed that, Liz. I got to take a look at it, or Evelyn, so I'll check into what she said. Or somebody can see it, because, well, I don't know how to use my phone on this. Evelyn just asked a question that was an important one, I think. Jump in, Evelyn, if you got it.
It was, do we have a list of all cash buyers in our group?
No, we don't, but we should do that, where our investors, Tiffany and Joe, let's get started on that. Anybody on the call that is interested, please put Alec Anderson in there. Please put Tom McNamara in there. Please put Frank Hopkins in there. Deep, are you want to jump into that wheelhouse?
Yogi.
Put Deep in there. If you guys are, if you're a cash buyer and you will buy properties, so discounted properties for sure, put Yogi in there, Yoganon in there, put Budrum in there as well. Do me a favor, Bud, do me a favor, shoot Tiffany an email if you would, Bud. I'm asking you. And for everybody else, if you're a cash buyer, shoot an email to Tiffany, and it's Tiffany at Sosa Philbank. She, when she's working in this capacity and not a successful real estate agent with her first listing, and also closed a couple other properties. Way to go, Tiffany. Besides doing that, she's also our director of operations. But shoot her an email if you're a cash purchaser. That means that you've got ability to purchase at 200 to 300 or greater funds. And if you're not, we should probably all talk about how we can partner and put this together, where we have the funds as the GPS group to be able to do that. Remember, you're not going to have to spend a lot of money doing this. We can fractionalize it. And the chances are it's not going to happen except maybe once or twice a year. But I don't know about you. I'll give you $10,000 if it means I got 15,000 coming back in, say, 90 days. That's a no-brainer. Okay. And there's brains in this company or in our partnership with Tom and with Frank and with Budrum and with Yogi and Deep. And we've got the ability to do this as a group. Why are we not helping each other? Thank you, Evelyn. Great call. Great idea. Oh, look at that. I'm on vacation, which means it's time for me to go. I'm going to get
I
praline.
was just about to yell at you, like, George, get off the call.
Peace. Thank you, guys. Great call.
Thanks,
Tom, thank you
George.
again for leading this and really kind of taking the charge. God bless you, man. That was awesome. Love you. Really good. And everybody else, thank you for being here. I drank coffee for the second time in like my life and just a little jacked up. See you guys later.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Take care,
brother.
guys.
Bye now.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Take care, guys.